Okay, so today is our second day of research methodology lecture. So before starting, I would like to give you a brief reminder of what we did last time. So let's see what we did last time. So under fundamentals, we define what is a research with the help of Oxford Dictionary, Advanced Learners Dictionary, and Clifford Woody Dictionary. Okay. Then in short, we summarize what is the definition of research in our words. Okay. So then we learn about what are the objectives of a research and what are the motivations of a research. Under this one, we learn what is the motivation of a research that for an undergraduate, or how do you move to a research project. Then we learn about basic types of research. Under that, we learn descriptive research, analytical research, applied, fundamental, quantitative, qualitative, conceptual, empirical, and the other types of research. And we took some types and found what are the differences between these two. And in our previous lecture, I said, even though there are several basic types of research, they often applied this visual or basic types of the differences of descriptive and analytical research, applied and fundamental research, quantitative versus qualitative research. Then we learn about other types of research like laboratory researches, simulations, clinical diagnosis, and historic research. Then we stop the lecture on the day. So we will move to today's lecture. The basic outline of today's lecture is we will be discussing about the significance of a research. Okay. Then we will try to find what is the difference between a research method and a research methodology. Okay. Then we will discuss about what are the phases of the research, how do you plan the research. Okay, this is only an introduction session. So after today's lecture, I will be research problem or hypothesis. So these are the learning outcomes of research progress. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah, madam.
Okay. So we will first move to the significance of a research. So first, take a little piece of paper and write what is a significance of a research according to your view. I will give you 2-3 minutes for you to have a little chat on what you think. Okay, if anyone is ready, you can give me the answer. What do you think is the significance of conducting a research? Okay, one from energy, one from mechatronics, one from automobile, one from polymer, one from CBST. Can you tell me what is the significant you think that is having for a research? Significance. Is there an importance of doing research? Okay. Find the best solution. Yes, in a way it's true. Finding the best solution. For what? Finding the best solution for what? Okay, if I say every great discovery will have a small idea generated inside somebody's head. There will be no rockets formed or sent to moon without a concept or idea of somebody. If there is no Wright brothers, then nobody will have the opportunity of flying aircrafts. So this is the significance. If you want to develop as a human being or a nation or a village, you need to do research. Even in very old times, even though we don't say those are research, people did research to find different things. Basically, many people did research in finding new building materials, how the towns are planned, and also to discover different medicines. Okay, it allows us to disprove lies and support truths. Yeah, that is true. That is one answer for this one. Very good. So this is the significance. So you want to prove lies and it is what is true. So these are conceptual. Then what is the importance of applied research? Usually, what is an applied research as we talked about last time? It is an idea of a current problem. Yes, you can write this down. Okay, I will not give you the note for this. It allows to disapprove lies and support truths. That is one answer. A possible solution for a current persisting problems. For example, now in one era, I cannot exactly remember the era, the people were eating on wooden bowls and people got sick. So as a solution, one of the workers in the palace suggested that if the type of material, this problem will solve. So in order to get this material to be replaced for wooden items, they had to identify what is the cause for this disease and what can you make to avoid contact of this one. Usually in the wooden bowls, the problem is after eating, there will be mold and other disastrous or poisonous microbes are growing. So in order to eliminate this one, if you have a glazed surface, okay, if you have a glazed surface, these microbes will not grow on it. Whereas in wood, if the microbe starts to grow, it will multiply and go inside the wooden bowl. So it will always come out and poison the food. Now, that is the same example for oil contamination nowadays. What is the oil contamination that we heard recently? Growth of alpha toxins. From where are these alpha toxins come? Usually, these alpha toxins are coming from the nuts that is rotten. Okay, not pure or fresh nuts will have these alpha toxins. It is a naturally growing microbe on oily nuts, nut type oily foods. So this alpha toxins are susceptible for brown nuts, cashew nuts, coconut, palm type of nuts. So from these, if you extract oil, they will definitely have alpha toxins. So this is, you can identify this problem and you can go for a solution later on. I'm not sure whether there is a permanent, because if you have rotten food or rotten oil, they will always have this or alpha toxins. So it is to make a solution for prevent future problems. Yes, that is also correct. So these are the significance of the research. Do you understand what I'm talking now? I'm reading your chat also. That is why I could tell your ideas here. I prefer you talk as well. Do you all understand what I'm talking? So the most significant importance of a research is betterment of the human and our environment is the So the research is important for betterment of our planet, human life, and also to the animals that we know or we don't know. Okay, so we will go to the next slide. Okay, that is the second topic of the day. What is the difference between research method and methodology? Now, this topic, when I talk research methodology, almost all of you might be thinking about research methods. So what do you think this research method and methodology is different from one another? What makes it different? Okay, since we are in a Zoom lecture, we might not be able to wait for the time being. So usually the research methods means all the methods, that is experiments, surveys, questionnaires. If you find data from older published data, all these methods will be what you are doing in order to perceive a solution. Okay, you need to analyze them and find a solution. This is research methods are means of collecting data, and also it is means of analyzing the collected data in a statistical way, or non-statistical methods. Okay, so always I have to say the collected data has to be analyzed in statistical or non-statistical methods. Statistical methods are always coming across with populations. Non-statistical data, that means if you want to do an experiment and find a result, if you want to design and find a result, whether your design is working correctly or not, most of the time they will not have statistical methods. But if you want to rationalize giving a big number of data, for example, in the case of IT, if you want to diagnose a medicine with many people, all these things are statistical. If you want to have many data and treated together. So these are statistical methods, and there are non-statistical data analysis methods as well. The third type of methods that we have under a research is the methods to evaluate the accuracy of the results. I will detailedly teach you what are these things in coming lectures. Okay, all the methods used during a research is called research methods. So what is a research methodology means? That is what you are learning here. Okay, this research methodology means a systematic way of solving a problem or a research. Okay, or in another way, it could be said science of studying how a research is done scientifically or systematically, methodically. That is called research methodology. So under research methodology, as one part, you have research methods. There are some other parts as well. Understood? Is it clear for you? Under research methodology, you have some other parts other than research methods. Okay, research methods are the methods of collecting data, methods of analyzing them, methods of evaluating whether the collected data and the results you have obtained are accurate or correct. Okay, let's see. Now, in other words, if we say research methodology does not only talk about the research methods, but also it considers the logic behind the methods we use in the research study. So this logic means what are the collecting methods you need? How do you validate it? How, whether this study has been done already? What are the problems occurring during this course of research? How do you solve it? So all these things come under research methodology. And the research methodology explain why we are using particular methods or techniques to prove this is the answer for this question. Okay, and also why we are not using other techniques so that the results will be evaluated by the researcher, that means you, or by your supervisor, or the people who read this one. So remember, the people will be reading your research work. Identify why you did it. What is the significance of your study? Why? What are the possible solutions? Everything will be covered in research methodology. So this is an art. Art of doing, finding a solution. So this research methodology is part. That means you need to act, you have to check, act, plan, do it, and check whether what you have done is correct. If there is something wrong in it, check back again, and act, plan, do it again. So this is a circular process. Always you have to revise what you have done during a course of research study. Okay, so in context, we could say there are different phases in a research. Okay, how do you act, plan, do, and check? This cycle is done in 7 steps. First one is you need to find a problem. Okay, there is no research if you don't have a problem. As you said in your chat, okay, in your previous significance, to make a solution to prevent future problems. So there is a problem needed to be addressed or find a solution. The next idea that you all have given is an idea for current problem. So allows to disapprove lies and support truths. Again, if there is a lie, that means there is a problem occurring. Okay, so you need to find a problem or some sort of a question that you need to find solutions. This question can be your daily life question or some theoretical question. Then once you find a problem that you need to address, you check the background. So how do you check this background? You go to the library or to the internet, refer books, journal articles, anything that has been published on this problem. Okay, so if you want to find what is the exact problem, you need to check the solution. So this finding the possible solution is step number 3, that is formulating a hypothesis. Hypothesis means what can be the solution for this problem in simple terms. Now, this formulating a hypothesis is mandatory. That means compulsory if you are using a statistical analytical analysis method. Regressions, then correlations, these things you always have a hypothesis. I hope you all have learned these things in your statistical methods 4 credits. So under those 4 credits, I hope you all have learned about the hypothesis and null hypothesis. Have you learned?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you all know what is a hypothesis by now. Now, when you have a possible solution, you need to design your experiment, sampling technique, what type of a questionnaire, if you're going to collect data through a questionnaire, what is the questionnaire and what type of questions you need to set? How do you go to the correct answer to the problem that you have found in the first place? If you're doing a laboratory experiments, then you have to design what are the experiments, what are the parameters you need to change, what relationships you need to find. If you are designing a product, you need to check the circuits, what type of ICs are you going to use, which type of gate it is using. You need to check the software. So all these parts will have different experiments. So you have to design the experiments at this phase once you think of a possible solution. Then collect the data, analyze it. We call testing hypothesis and interpretation. Okay, through the experiments or the design of the data collection, you will analyze it either by statistics or in other means. Then once you analyze it, you will know for the question that you have found. It might be compatible with the hypothesis or might not be compatible with the hypothesis. If it is not compatible, what do you need to do? You refine the hypothesis and check back again whether the collected data will give you a possible solution for the question. Then once you get you basic phases of research. Don't worry, I will be discussing you each by each in next few lectures. How to check the background, how to formulate hypotheses, how to design the experiments, and what are the things you need to validate, checking everything. Then after collecting data, how do you analyze? Finally, how to write a research paper, how to write your thesis, how to prepare your proposal, everything will be covered under this one. So this research methodology part, okay, this module will be a supporting module for your research project. And also you can get the help of this concept in writing your assignments as well. Understood? Terunada?
Yes, madam.
Okay, let's proceed now. So this 7 phases is usually a circular process. As I said before, once you begin with a research problem, then define the goals to solve the problem, then subdivide the research problem into sub-problems. Then you need to go for research points, tentative solutions, that is called hypothesis. Once you set the hypothesis, you plan the data are necessary to test the data. Okay, whether it's going to be a statistical method or you're going for a laboratory experiments, or whether you're going for a simulation type of a research. Then after you obtain the data, and if the hypothesis is proved, you go out of this cycle, publish the data. Okay, if the interpreted results are not supporting the hypothesis, what do you need to go? Refine it again and come back. Okay, so this is the basic research process. Okay, now in the case, now take this one as a simplified version of the first one. What you are doing here is first identify a general study area which is in. Okay, I hope for a mechatronics students, you always go for an automated system, right? Like a robo arm, or a automated light system, automated power outputs. If you want to control your power from your mobile phones, all these things come under your interest. For energy, you might be going for renewable sources, like the one that is always publishing banana peels, ethanol from banana peels, biodiesel from various wastes, then solar energy, wind energy, hydro, thermal energy. There are so many research areas under energy. Under CBST, you will be going into construction of environment-friendly buildings, self-cooling buildings. These are several examples from CBST. From polymer, you will be going for rubber-based ones, polymer like plastics, new polymer materials. There are so many research. So likewise, you will identify a general study area which interests you. Am I correct?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so after you identify a general subject area, what do? You read and find, or you think and find a research topic. This is a simplified version. Now here, this is what we are telling you as the identification of a research problem. Okay, that is what you say, choose your research topic. You do a literature survey, narrow down what you want to do. Okay, so if you want to make a rocket, you will not be able to do it in 10 years or 20 years or somewhere. But if you take one part into consideration, you can build it up within 1 year, 6 months, or 2 years, depending on the size and the sophisticatedness of the part. So whatever the time frame that allows you, you can narrow down your topic. So in order to narrow down your topic, you need to read coming from reliable means or reliable sources. Even though you could read anything from out of internet or in newspapers, these will not count for narrow downing your topic. හැම පත්තරේ තිබ්බක් කියලා ඔයාලට ගන්න පුළුවන් මේ ඔක්කොම ඇත්ත කියලා. බෑනේ. පුළුවන්ද?
No.
So in order to give you a better understanding of your project, you need to read. මොනවද මේ read කරන්න ඕනේ? You have books that we have understand and identify that these are correct. ඒ කියන්නේ textbooks විදියට අපි ගන්න පොත් තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැතුව ඒ අදාළ වෙන පොතුත් තියෙනවනේ නේද? ඒ ඉතිහාසයේ පොඩක් හිතලා බලන්න. Where do you take the exact history? Either it is written on a book, or you analyze certain compounds or certain materials and find the date of the archaeological sites. And you also take those stone inscriptions. Reliability. You always check the reliability rather than asking for a folk story. Are you going for a folk story to find the exact literature? If you are going to go for an archaeology-based research. මහදැන මුත්තගේ කතාව වගේ එකක් අරගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන්ද කා? පුළුවන්ද උත්තරයකට යන්න? බෑ. හැබැයි there are stories that have a little bit more reliability, like Ramayana. There might be a truth or there might be not. So anyway, you have to go for reliable literature. Usually the reliable literature means a journal article, journal communications, textbooks, and also you need to check the credibility of the author and also where it has been published. Okay, after you choosing your topic, you formulate your plan based upon the hypotheses that we talked about previously. Then you set up a proper methodology according to the previous literature that has been published. After you formulate the methodology part, you can write the proposal, which consists of your research topic, background of your research, and also what you are going to plan and what are the methods that you are going to use, under what time period you are going to do this research, and also approximately how much will it cost for all the things that you need. That includes stationery, transportation, chemicals if you need a computer, that one. So whatever you need more, you have to write it in a proposal. If you already have a computer, don't ask for a computer, okay? Understood? Terunada?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In a research proposal, what you need to develop your product, you have to list it out. Once you develop the proposal, you start your research work or experimental or methods that we have listed. So under methods, we have different data collection methods through experiments, surveys, simulations. The collection of data could be collection of data from other research work. This is always coming under IC or some studies of energy, mechatronics, you might be needing these secondary data. Okay, so once you collect these data, if they are probable, if you are doing simulations, you can do modeling. If you are doing experiments, you can do other analysis techniques other than statistical methods. Okay, if you are doing experiments, they can be, analysis could be statistical based as well as other modeling or comparisons. You can get different analysis techniques. After you analyze and interpret the solution, you present your findings in written context, that is your thesis. You can publish a patent. You can publish your research as a conference proceeding. So there are several ways of presenting your findings. If you don't present your findings or publish your findings, there is no need of doing research. If the other people does not know what you have done, do you think there is a significance of your work or time? No. So there will be a major concern for writing your findings. So this is the basic process. You will develop the research proposal. You will do research under stipulated time, under minimum cost, and under minimum effort. Then after you find the solution for your findings to the general public in written content. So this is the basic research process. So under this one, I will quickly go through each and every phase of the research problem. First, you need to select a research problem. Okay, so or as I said before, all research begin with a problem. Okay, and this is the hardest part of the research. Once you found the problem, then everything will go on smoothly. Okay, so usually this research problem should be a good research project, should have advanced knowledge. You should address the important questions, that is the relevance, whether it's legal or ethical to do such study. Fourth one, whether it's practically, can you prove it? Whether there is a feasibility to collect data, access data, what is the cost, what is the time, whether you can do the collect the data within the stipulated time, and also availability of the past studies. So these are the factors that you need to consider when you select a research problem. Okay, before moving up, I need all of you to consider and write down what is the expected research topic that you are intending to do in your final year research project. Any project that you would like to do in your final year research project, you can find a research problem and a topic. Can you all do it now? I will put a small assignment in your LMS. Think of a research topic and write it there. I will be giving you 5 marks out of 100. Is it okay? For writing some topic, I will give you 5 marks out of 100. 100 means the total 100 allocated for research methodology course. Can you all? Then second thing is development of a hypothesis. This part I have already discussed with you. You need to translate your problem into predicted outcome or the solution. So this development of a hypothesis is essential when you are doing a probability-based research. And also this development of hypothesis, it is you need to identify the variables, concepts that needed to be investigated, how they are related. For example, if you are doing a problem like how long is your system last under current environmental conditions, okay? So what do you need to do? You need to build a machine, build a part, then under certain period of time, you need to keep the same till when it is going to break down. Okay. Terunada? Okay. Let me take an example that is more clear for you. Okay. Rubber plantation. This is one of the examples that was given to me by one of your senior students. That student said he wants to find out the quality of the rubber latex during different months of the year. So as we know, certain period of time, the rubber plant will fall leaves and the young leaves come out. At that period, we will not tap the tree and harvest latex. Okay, so there will be only 6 months of period of the year that will have that will give you rubber latex. In this 6 months, what do? You record temperature, you record humidity, you record the rainfall, and also you record the quality parameters of rubber latex. So these are variables. What is the variable here? Time. Then humidity. You can plot humidity 1, quality parameter 2, quality parameter 3. So quality parameter 1, 2, 3 are depending variable. Humidity will be X, that is independent variable. So likewise, for all experiments, you need to identify what are the variables that you need to check in order to prove your hypothesis. Now, what is the hypothesis in the previous one, this research problem? Can you tell me? Can one of you tell me? I didn't say a very clear topic. I didn't say a clear hypothesis, but I have already discussed the variables with you. A polymer person voluntarily give me the answer. What could be the research topic? What could be the hypothesis, other one, and tell me what do we need to prove? Unmute and answer. Can one of you unmute and answer? What is the topic that I was talking about? කට්ටිය නිදිද? Quality of the rubber should be same in all the year. That is the hypothesis. What is the problem? Yeah, in this answer, you have identified the quality, word quality. In the year, so it is time. You have correctly identified two keywords under the research. Yeah, this is a good hypothesis anyway. Yeah. Yes, Pata, tell me. What should be the topic of this one? Yes, yes. Somebody was talking. Okay. The topic of this study should be the study of latex quality. The hypothesis is quality of the rubber should be same in all through the year. Or the quality of the rubber should be depend upon parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3, parameter 4. So you will have 4 experiments to be doing. That means you need to find the relationship between humidity and the quality parameter 1, quality parameter 2, quality parameter 3. Can you see different parts? The condition. So, effect of humidity for latex quality. Effect of rainfall for latex quality. Third one, effect of temperature for the latex quality. So there are 3 subtopics. For each and every subtopic, you can provide one hypothesis each and a null hypothesis for the same. Therunada. So when you set the hypothesis, you need to predict the answer, and this predicted answer should be coming through literature survey, and also the researchers should clearly state what is the working hypothesis and or the working hypotheses. Okay, quickly we will move to the next one. So based upon the problem and based upon the sub-problems that you have identified through development of hypothesis, you have already found out what are the variables, what should be varied, and what should be the dependent variable. After you identify what are the variables, you will prepare your research methods. How do you design it and how to solve it within a particular period of time? How do you obtain information? What are the abilities of you or the person that you are using for the helping you with the research? Then explanations, how to organize it, the within reasoning, and also what is the time available, cost, everything you need to design the research according to what you have. So let's stop for the day. If you have anything unclear, you can answer now, ask now. I will stop recording.